everyone, Marianne Cowan here from Pinery Paper Crafts. Today is Saturday, December 5th. I don't usually go live on Saturdays, but I'm doing my 12 days of Christmas. So here I am, and today is day 5 because I started on December 1st. Just gonna pull this up. All right, perfect. Hi, Nick and Barb. All right, so today I'm doing a card and a cute little gift box. But before that, just a reminder of the Life is Beautiful card class December 19th. And when you register, you will be receiving the stamp set because you need it to make the cards. And here are some of the cards that we'll be making. The class is $40. You can find information on my website, which is a really good deal because the stamp set alone is $23 before shipping and tax. So it's a good deal, and it's a beautiful class. A lot of things are retiring starting December 8th. The retiring list comes out because the mini catalog only goes till January 4th. So this is definitely a set that you'll want to have in your craft room. All right. So the project we're making today is based on one I made a while ago, maybe last year, maybe a year ago, because the paper is the bird ballad paper. So it's this cute little box that measures 5.5 by 2 by 3.5. 5.5 by 2 and 3.5 tall. And I just love. And it has a matching card and a decorated envelope. So we're doing the same style, but of course for Christmas. So I'll put that one aside in case I need to look back and see how to make it. So I made one just to make sure I remembered how to make it. And so the one I made just as a sample is this beautiful white. So it's Whisper White, and it has the Poinsettia Plush paper on it. It's retiring, and it's 50% off. This paper is gorgeous. So I have it on the 3 sides. The box is the exact same size as the measurements I'll give you for the box we're doing today. I've added the poinsettia in red velvet, and I'm pretty sure that paper is retiring as well. And then I just used some ribbon that I had that was velvet because I thought that would really look pretty. And it does look pretty, but velvet bows are really hard to tie. Just saying, because it's so thick. But I thought it looked really pretty. I love red, and I just love the pop of red on the white. So this is a really pretty box. So the only difference is the panels that I attached. And there's something about this plush poinsettia paper that when you use your stamp and seal, it doesn't show through. So the 2 little pieces, 3 pieces that you need for this box are 3¼ by 5¼, so 5¼ by 3¼. You need 2 of those, one for the front, back, and one for the front, and then 1¾ by 5¼ for the top. And I will put these measurements in the description of the Facebook Live. And I will post it to YouTube as well. So I just made this one to make sure I remembered how to make the box, and I think it turned out really pretty. And it's so tactile. There's the velvet paper, and then there's the plush. It's so pretty. Okay, so that's what we're making. Hi Pat and Diane. I'll just go through some of the things we're using. So we're using the poinsettia dies. These are carrying over to next year. We are using the Hippo and Friends dies, these 2. Actually, those ones I used on this box. We're not using them on the next box. We are using the stitched nested labels on the box and card we're going to be using today. And the sentiment from this box is from A Merry Hello. I love these sentiments. This was a really good stamp set. And then the sentiments on the card and box we're making today are from Poinsettia Petals, which also has some beautiful greetings. All right, just show you those all now because I know I'll forget later. Okay, so we're going to start with making the card. So I'll just put that up there. We're not doing a gift card holder today. And this card is not going to have a bow. I don't know. We'll see as we go along. Card base is Old Olive, 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half. This piece I cut off from the other piece that we're going to be using to make the box. So we're going to use it to dress up the envelope. Next layer, velvet. And you know my little trick, if you're going to use a whole big sheet of velvet, cut something out of the middle. So this is one of the, or this is this one actually. So we're going to use this on the front of the card because you hate putting a piece of paper on that whole big piece of velvet. So let's go ahead with my stamp and seal and attach this. I hope everyone's enjoying their Saturday. It's actually, not now, before it was slightly snowing, like a flake every now and then. Okay, I'm centering this. But there's where we walk our dog out in the woods behind us. It's pretty wet. I'm going to use white glue. I think it sticks better, I don't know, to the velvet. Let's try this. And if it doesn't stick, then we'll switch to white. It's a good day to be in your craft room. I'm finding now, I'm done all my outdoor decorating. Obviously my gardening's done, so usually I'd spend some of my time inside and some of my time outside doing stuff, and now it's just inside. Obviously, I do walk the dog a couple of times a day. That's so pretty. But it does give me more time in my craft room. So that seemed to hold okay, so I'm going to do the same thing for the sentiment. Thank you for making this a wonderful season. And that's just going to go in the middle. Now, this is from the Poinsettia paper, which is retiring. I don't remember how much it's on sale for, but I'm pretty sure it's on sale. So the sale starts Tuesday, and I'm going to be posting a list of everything that's on sale. It's called the close-out sale, I think. All right, so even though this is the Poinsettia paper, this particular piece I chose only has the holly leaves on it. So I decided to just do holly leaves to decorate it. And I'm going to pop it up first. And then I'll know exactly its location on the card because I don't want any of the holly leaves hanging off the card. And you could put it either way actually. Why don't we do it this way? We have more room then for our holly leaves. All right. So I cut out a bunch of holly leaves in Old Olive and Pear Pizzazz, just to give it a little bit of a difference, I guess. I like to fold them to give them a bit of a 3D effect. So my idea is to have a couple of holly leaves there and then a couple down here. I don't know if I'll, because there was different colors in here, that's why I kind of went for the different colors, but as I'm looking at it, I don't really like it. So we have to put this up high enough that we can put our 3 little berries. Now these little berries I cut from, I have a 3/8 inch little hole punch. So that's how I cut those. I'm going to use glue dots and my take a pick tool to adhere these together. So I just want to put my 2 leaves together first. Now, like I said, I want to make sure it's not going off the card. Okay, that looks good. And we want to have room for our berries. put another little glue dot, put it as far away as I can. All right, so then we'll take one. I don't know if these are a good size or not, now that I'm looking at them. They're quite big, but oh well, I'm committed. Do they always have to have 3? No, I think it looks good with just 2. I'm going to save this one to put over here. And I think I'm going to use the same color. I thought it might be nice to mix them up, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't know. We do want to save some for the box though. Maybe I'll do one of each. I'll do one set of Old Olive and one set of Pear Pizzazz. Okay, let's get these together. So these ones are going to go down here. I kind of like it with just the holly berries. Or just the holly. Alright, so now we have our 2 little berries. I don't know, it looked weird with 3. I cut out a whole bunch of them. Just in case. Okay, I kind of like it just like that. Bling. So I have these wonderful gems. So I thought we could put a couple of those on. They're really pretty. They have little gold flecks in them. And they kind of look like the holly berries. I thought about using these, but they're just too small. This might be a bit big, but this would have been too small. So I think it looks fine though. Oh, we have to do our envelope. So there's our card. Now this was the extra piece because I cut the 12 by 12 piece down to 12 by 9.5. So I have this piece here, and it's going to fit perfectly on my envelope. So I know you guys have seen me do this before, but it just makes the whole little set so pretty. So you put glue as close to the edges as you can, and then slide it over so it's at least to one edge. Don't put it, you want to save as much paper as you can. Flip it over and then just cut around. I know there are new dies. There was dies in the mini catalog, but I don't know. I find this easier. I think the dies were to put your paper inside. I like having it on the outside though. So look how pretty that is. I think that would be really nice to receive in the mail. But you probably wouldn't mail this if you're doing the box as well. Okay, so we'll just lay that up there. And onto our box. So, for our box, the designer series paper is a 12 by 12. So you need to have, this one was white, so I do have 12 by 12 white cardstock. It's good to have some of that in your stash. So 12 by 12, cut it down to 9.5. And then on the landscape side, which is the long, so landscape, you score it at 3.5, 5.5, 9, and 11. Oh, sorry. You can't see it, but I can. 3.5, 5.5, 9, and 11. Okay, and then you turn it onto the portrait side and score it at 2 inches on each side. Once you've made a few boxes, really, they're all made the same. So I will post these measurements on Facebook, just under the description as soon as I get off. And then I'll tell you my ribbon story. And then gently fold along the folds. With designer series paper, you have to be gentle. And also pick a piece of paper that the inside is kind of coordinating with the outside. Most of them do, but not all of them. This ribbon is sticking to me. So the ribbon story is, I was putting these boxes together and I realized I have used every inch of my nice sheer red ribbon and the other satin ribbon. So I had absolutely no red ribbon other than my skinny stuff, this stuff, or this stuff. And they're both on, this is on 50% off, I know, I don't know about that one. But they're both retiring. Anyways, I thought, no, that's not gonna work. So I used velvet for my last little box, but I wanted to use velvet for that anyways. And then I thought, okay, I'll take some of the tulle and color it with my blends. So I did that. And then I noticed over in the corner of my office, see, it's typically white, I had my little stack of 3 boxes that was tied with this piece. So I stole it. And I'll just have to order some more. And I'll wait till Tuesday because it'll probably be on sale. All right, we're good to go. So we're going to cut. I'm going to watch this time, make sure that you can see what I'm doing. So this is the little 1-inch flap, and that is going to be the part that tucks right on top of your box. So we can cut off the corners. So now I'm cutting off the other side. Get rid of those. And now we turn it landscape so that we have our 2 folds, and you're going to cut up to the fold. So there's 3 different spots. 1. It's a bit hard to see on this paper. You have to turn it almost a certain angle so the light catches it. Okay, so now we're back. I just flipped it around and we're doing the same thing on the other side. 3 spots. This is similar, well, it's actually exactly the same as the box we made yesterday, except that it has a lid. All right, so you can tell this is going to be the lid. So what I want to do is, these little flaps are too big, so I'm just going to, not quite in half, but I'm cutting off a good portion of it. And it's the one beside the little flap. Then I'm just going to go in and angle these. It just makes it easier for them to tuck in. And it doesn't matter how much you cut off. All right, get rid of all these little pieces. So now our box looks like this. So you can see by yesterday's box that all we're going to do is fold these up like that, and there we go. So the only place we need to put glue is on these 2 pieces. Okay, so I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal Plus, hopefully it's my friend, and I'm putting it on both edges. I actually didn't have the measurements written down for this box. I used to have another one like this, but I can't find it. And I used to have my little sticky trick, but I didn't. So I just measured. I took my ruler and measured exactly how big each section was. And that's how I figured out the measurements and how big to make the paper. So I will make sure I put a sticky on this one. Okay, so I always want it to go to the back, the seam to go to the back. It just looks fancier. So I'm just going to do it one at a time. Just take it up, line it up, and you're good to go. As soon as this paper hits, as soon as this glue hits the paper, it's stuck. So just do it really lightly at first, make sure it's where you want it, and then rub it. All right, and there's our box. How simple was that? Now, I do like to make this look a little fancier, so I'm going to round the corners. So I'm going to bring in my punch, my triple punch. Now, to do this, you have to tuck in the flap before you put it in the punch. It's not going to make any difference. It's not going to punch it. It just rounds the corner. Otherwise the little tab gets in the way. So make sure it's in there square. And make sure for this punch you punch in the middle. That one wasn't as good as the other one, but it's still good. Okay, so this is a good size box. You could fit a lot of stuff in here. Could even fit a pair of socks. Okay, so you have choices. You can keep this flap out, or you can tuck it in. So for this one, I kept it out. And for this one, I tucked it in. But it kind of pushes in, but it's because there's nothing in it. I think with this one, I'll keep it out. You just have to know ahead of time because that's going to make a difference on how you design your front of your box. Okay, so I have another piece of red, these stitched nested dies. And for this sentiment, I have May Magic and Wonder Bloom This Holiday. So I want it fairly high up. But I have to remember I have to be able to open the box. So I can't glue it to the lid. And I also have to put my ribbon on first. It's just easier. I think I'm going to go with this one because this is the one that I really wanted to go with. And then you have choices where you want your bow to be. I'm going to put mine on the top. This ribbon is really pretty. I will have to get some more of it. In the new catalog, there is one like this, a sheer ribbon, and it's purple. It is so pretty. It goes with the hydrangea set, which I did order. It was supposed to be here Friday, and it's in Memphis, Tennessee. Oh well, that's okay. I'm still doing Christmas stuff. All right, so I'm going to try to make that a little prettier. I don't know why that is sticking up like that. Usually bows are my friend. Because this ribbon actually ties very nice bows. Okay, that's better. You can see where the other knot was from where I had it tied on the other boxes. Okay, so I want that on because that again is going to guide me as to where I put this. So let's go ahead and get this going. I'm going to glue it with this. It seemed to work last time. And I'll center it. You could whip up a bunch of these very easily. Now, I want my dimensionals on the sides, but I'm going to put them a little bit down so that it can tuck behind the box a little bit, but won't be stuck to the box, if you know what I mean. So the top, I'm going to put it down a little bit, and nothing in the middle because the ribbon slides up. Or if you want to have your ribbon stuck to the box, you can put dimensionals on. I tend to like to have the ribbon kind of free flow through there. And just wondering if we should do our holly leaves before or after. I think we'll do them before because the box isn't very thick, so I don't want to wreck it. So again, we're going to put holly berries the same as we did last time. So here we have our old olive and some glue dots. So what I like to do first is just attach them together. Now this one we don't need to worry about it going off the card because it's on a box. And I should definitely add some Wink of Stella. I was trying to think of how I could do the leaves to get this little gold look on them, and I'm sure I could have added paint or spritzed them or something, but I didn't. So I'll try some Wink of Stella. Might be able to put 3 berries on this one. Let's try. All right. It's very pretty. I like it with just the holly berries. The poinsettia is beautiful, but sometimes, I don't know, sometimes just greenery is nice as well. Oops, I almost did it backwards. And then you could put 3 leaves if you want, but okay, let's try putting 3 leaves. It might be a bit too big. I'm just going to check before I commit. So I'm going to have this about here and that about there. See, I don't want it. I'm going to go back to 2 because I don't want it hanging off the bottom, then my box will not stand properly. So, good thing I checked. Let's go ahead and put this on. And don't worry about what it looks from the front because we're adding our berries. All right. There's 1. I might just put 2 berries on this one just to be different. Okay, so now let's take our box back and we'll pop it up and hopefully I have everything in the right place. That's always fun. Okay, so I want it a little bit above, but not too much, and hopefully, oh, that was very crooked. I'm being careful because there's nothing in the box and I don't want to open it up again, try to do another bow. All right, a few little gems. Wonderful gems, actually. I was trying to put it on the eye. Maybe 1 over here. All right, that looks good. Those are the measurements. And here's our card and envelope. Now, Wink of Stella. I'm going to try, I'm not going to sit here and make you watch me put Wink of Stella on everything, but let's just try it on these leaves and see how it looks. Because it will take quite a bit of Wink of Stella to cover the whole leaves. Even if you just did the middle, well, that's nice. Now it's nicer all over. It does really look pretty with the Wink of Stella. So that's an option as well. All right, there we have it. A cute little treat box and a matching card and coordinating envelope. I think this would make a really nice gift for somebody. And like I said, once you make one, they're really quick and easy to make. And if you have a certain pack of designer series paper, like I don't think I did a lot with this particular piece. So the box and the envelope back is one sheet of 12 by 12. And then I had to use another piece from a different sheet for this one. All right, so stay tuned for more information. I'm going to take this off. So stay tuned for more information on the sale, December 8th. Yeah, there are lots of good deals, lots of things 50% off actually, which is a great deal. And if you're a demo, that is on top of your discount. So that means you could be getting stuff 70% off. Sweet. All right, so I will be back again Sunday at 7 for day 6 of the 12 days of Christmas. Today was day 5 of the 12 days of Christmas. So I hope you're able to join me, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday and get to do something fun. All right, thanks everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of the weekend.